Hi. Now in today's video lecture we would be introduced to reactors in series, right? And we would be looking into combining reactors in series from design perspective, right? If in actual scenario, if you look at some chemical plant, you will see some reactors, right, which are combined in series, right? So what we would be looking before we go ahead and plan to combine reactors in series in a chemical plant, what is the conversion, right, and what is the volume, right? We would be relating conversion, right, with the volume of the reactors, right? If I want to achieve 80% conversion, so suppose, then would it be would it be fine if I use one big CSTR tank, or shall I combine smaller 3 CSTR tanks or 2 CSTR tanks, right? So we would be looking at conversion and the volume of reactors, right, in series or in case of single reactors, right? So reactors in series, and it's somewhat like this. If this is one reactor, right, and suppose what is, if I initially fed, right, initial fed in the first reactor would be coming out from here, and suppose I have connected one reactor in series like this, and there is another reactor like this in series, right? So what is coming out of this reactor, first reactor, would be fed for the second reactor, right? And what is coming out of the second reactor would be fed for the first reactor, right? So initially the fed would be sent in the first reactor only, then in the other reactors that are connected in series, only what is coming out of the one first reactor will go in the subsequent reactor which is in series, right? So we would be calculating the flow rate, right, and will apply mole balance equation at different points, right? We would be calculating we would be looking at the conversion at different points and the molar flow rate. Suppose conversion at point 1, I is equals to 1 is x1, and conversion I is equals to 2 point at x2, right? Initially what we have sent in the first reactor, right, this is the initial fed to the first reactor, and what is coming out of this reactor is Fa1, what is coming out of this reactor is Fa2, right? Molar flow rate. So molar flow rate which is coming out of the second reactor would be the fed for the third reactor, right? So here it would be I is equals to 3 x3 Fa3, right? So we would be looking at the conversion, right, due to these three reactors at any point, say at any point I, right? In this case it would be 3, I is equals to 3. So we would be doing the conversion at any point, conversion x, right, at any point I would be equal to what is would be equal to the conversion, right, this would be equal to the moles of A, right, that are reacted till point I, right, divided by the initial moles fed into the reactor first, right? So xi, that is conversion at point I, would be equal to the moles reacted, right, till point I, right, moles reacted up to point I, right, divided by moles fed to the first reactor, right? This is important to understand before we go ahead with this, because the idea behind combining these reactors in series, right, is to look at the conversion, right, and the volume. So the total conversion achieved after the reactants, right, flow through these three reactors in series would be calculated at this point, suppose, right, and it would be moles reacted up to point I, that is total number of moles that we fed initially in the first reactor. So what are the total number of moles that are reacted when this fed came out from the third reactor, right? Moles reacted divided by the total number of moles fed to the first reactor, right? This is your conversion. This is conversion per mole, right? And the second thing, so at any point I is equals to 1, I is equals to 2, I is equals to 3, you can find the moles reacted, right, divided by the moles fed to the reactor. Now the second thing is, we will be looking at various points is molar flow rate. Molar flow rate is, suppose I want to find the molar flow rate at any point, say at this point, at any point I, FAI would be molar flow rate, the molar flow rate at the first reactor, the molar flow which is fed to the first reactor minus the what is reacted inside the first reactor, right? If we are calculating the molar flow rate at point I is equals to 1, so what is reacted, right, what is coming out right from here would be this minus what is reacted inside inside the first reactor. So it would be FA0 multiplied by conversion, because the conversion is the moles conversion, this is conversion for 1 mole. Total moles that are fed in the first reactor is FA0. So conversion for these number of moles would be this multiplied by conversion due to 1 mole. This would be XI. Right? So these are two important things that we will be using, and we would be using the mole equations, right? Mole balance equations that we have already done in the previous lectures, right? So we would be looking at for reactors in series or for reactors in series or what is the idea behind putting reactors in series. What is the idea behind putting reactors in series? So we will be looking at conversion, right, and comparing with volumes, right? These two important things, conversion and the volume, right? We would be comparing volumes, different volumes for, we will be comparing volumes for reactors in series or a single reactor for the same conversion, right? And then we'll see whether more volume, whether if we combine these multiple reactors in series, more volume would be required for the same conversion or less volume would be required. These kind of comparisons we will be doing, right? So here, first scenario that we will be looking at is when we combine CSTR reactors in series, right? So CSTR in series. Suppose this is one reactor, right? So what I initially fed in this reactor, right, and what is coming out of this reactor, what is coming out of this reactor would be fed for the second reactor, right? Just remember this. Then let FA0 be the initial fed for the first reactor. Then at point I is equals to 1, it would be FA1, right, molar flow out, and this would be fed for this reactor, and what is coming out of this reactor at I is equals to 2 would be FA2, right. So we will be finding conversion x2 and x1, right. What is the conversion achieved at point x2, right, and we'll relate it with these volumes. So now we'll apply mole balance equation. We already know, we have done before mole balance equation, right, to the first reactor. Then we'll look at the second reactor, right. For the first reactor, the rate of disappearance, because when you fed the reactants in the first reactor, a chemical reaction will take place due to which the reactants will disappear, right. So RA1 would be rate of disappearance, RA2 would be rate of disappearance in the second reactor, right. So for first reactor, we have mole balance would be in minus out plus generation is equals to accumulation, right. Since this is a CSTR where conditions doesn't change with time, so accumulation which was dnj upon dt, this would be equal to 0, right. And what is in is FA0, what is coming out is FA1, plus generation would be R, disappearance is RA1, not volume V1, right. This is, and accumulation is 0, right. This is equation 1. Now we'll find the molar flow rate at point 1, right. So molar flow rate at point 1, it would be FA1 is equals to FA0 minus FA0 x1. This is the conversion achieved at point 1, right. This is your second equation, right. Now we'll be solving these two equations to find volume V1, right. So volume V1 will come out to be, if you just put the value, let's solve it from here. From equation 1, we have V1 is equals to FA0 minus FA1 divided by, I take this here, minus RA1, right. And we'll put the value of FA0, right, I'm sorry, the value of FA1 from here. It would be FA0 minus FA0, this would be plus FA0 dot x1 divided by minus RA1. This would be FA0 upon minus RA1 x1. Right, so this is for the first reactor, right, the relation between volume and conversion. Now let's look at the second reactor at this point. What is the conversion at this point? We will be using the same mole balance equation and the flow rate equation to find it, right. So here, if you look at this point, at this point FA2 is coming out, and what is fed for this FA2 is your FA1, right, FA1, which is coming out of the first reactor. What is coming out of the first reactor is fed for the second reactor, right. And we want to know the molar flow rate FA2. First we'll apply the mole balance equation for the second reactor, right. For second reactor, the mole balance equation would be in minus out plus generation is equals to disappearance, is equals to accumulation, which is 0. So in is, what is coming in is your FA1 minus FA2 plus Ra, rate of disappearance in the second reactor is Ra2. Right? Ra2 V2 is equals to 0. Right? So therefore we want to find expression for V2. Right? And what is the molar flow rate? Fa2, it would be Fa2 is equals to Fa1, right? What is coming, what Fa2 would be molar flow rate in minus what is disappeared, right? Due to chemical reaction inside the reactor, minus moles reacted inside the reactor would be conversion X2, right, which is for 1 mole into moles fed. Moles fed is Fa1, right, in this, which is coming, what is coming out of the first reactor, right. So this is your third equation, this is your fourth equation. From these two equations we would be finding the expression for V2, right, and the expression for V2 would be, if you solve this, from here, the V2 would be Fa2 minus Fa1 divided by Ra2. Right? Or I can also write it like this. Fa1, if I take this, because this Ra2 is minus, it will just show that, or this is also correct. I've just used the minus sign. If you take this, it will become like this. Or we can, what we can do is, if you look at this same equation, if I take this here, it will become Fa1 minus Fa2 would be minus Ra2, right? This is the expression for volume. Now Fa1, Fa2 is, you can just put it from here, right? It will become Fa1 minus Fa2. So Fa2 is already, we have already calculated, and Fa1 is, what is the value of Fa1? It's from this equation, the second equation, right? So using equation second and this equation fourth. So what we are basically using is, from equation second we are using the value of Fa1, from equation fourth we are using the value of Fa2, and substituting that value in this expression, right, for Fa1 and Fa2. So what you will get is the expression for volume V2, which is equal to, after solving you will get it as, you will get it Fa0 minus Ra2 x2 minus x1, right? This is the final expression, right? So this is the volume required. This is the volume required for these two, for this in the second reactor, right? Which is, and you have to look at this also, the conversion x2 minus x1, right? So in actual practice, if you see that when you actually combine two reactors, say in series, right, or if you take one big reactor, right, and say if you want to achieve 80% conversion, right, so the volume required, right, in case of these, in case when you use two reactors in series, the volume required would be less compared to if you use one big reactor, right? So you can just, there is one numerical on this that we can try, right? We'll be doing numerical in another video lecture, but here you just remember this. For the same conversion, volume required, right, when two reactors are combined in series is less compared to when single reactor is taken, right? So volume, right, volume required for connectors in series would be less than the volume for single reactor, right? So based on this, you can go ahead and plan your design, right? So this is for reactors in CSTR reactors in series, right? And so from here, now we know that the sum of the two CSTR reactor volumes, right, is less than the volume of one CSTR reactor volume, right? So volume of CSTR reactor volumes, the volume of CSTR reactors in series, like I mentioned here, is less than the volume of single reactor taken, right? So this is important to remember, right? So how you can understand that the conversion, if you have two reactors in series, right, here you need less volume, you need small reactors, you can combine those in series, right? And or if you take a very big or if you want to achieve the same conversion, you take a very big reactor, right? That will also achieve the same conversion, right? So either you can combine two small reactors, right, or you take one big reactor, right, depending on the design. Now we'll be looking at the second thing, which is PFR in series, right? Before going ahead with the PFR in series, we'll just look at PFR and CSTR, right? We'll compare the volumes of PFR, plug flow reactors, and your CSTR reactors, right? And we'll be comparing it this way, the conversion and the volume. Right. So I hope all this is clear. What we would be dealing in all these things in detail as we keep progressing, right, with this subject. When we do other chapters, right, we would be using all this, then it will be more clear for you. Now one small thing that we want to compare is PFR, approximating a PFR by large number of CSTR, right? Approximating PFR by large number of CSTR, right? So for this, to achieve the same conversion, right, say 80%, what is the total volume of all CSTRs, right, with the volume, we'll compare the volume of, right, say for same conversion, say 80%, we will compare the volume of one plug flow reactor and multiple CSTR reactors in series, right? So here the total volume, right, to achieve the same conversion for 5 CSTR equal volumes is roughly the same as the volume of a PFR, That is, if I want to achieve this, if I want to achieve 80% conversion, either I take 5 CSTR reactors and combine them in series, or I take one big plug flow reactor, right? So either I do like this, right? 1 2 3 4 5, right? Or else you take one plug flow reactor or 5 CSTR reactors, right? So whatever volume of 5 CSTR reactors, if equal to the volume of these 5 CSTR reactors, you take one big plug flow reactor, you will achieve the same conversion, right? So both these design, either one PFR, right, or 5 CSTR in series, will achieve same conversion, right? This is what we should know. And what we can write for this, or what we can mention for this, is that a model of a PFR, we can model a PFR with a large number of CSTR in series, right? We can model a PFR with a large number of CSTR in series, right? Either you take one big PFR, right, or you take multiple CSTR and combine them in series, right, to achieve the same conversion. What you will achieve in what you will achieve in volume equivalent to these 5 CSTR, you can achieve the same in the same volume of PFR, right? So PFR with a large, we can model a PFR with a large number of CSTR in series, right? Now we'll just quickly look at the PFR in series, right? So earlier we saw CSTR in series, now we will see PFR in series, right? And what we will do is, we'll take two, this is the diagram that make, right? The other is, you will feed it, then what is coming out of it will go in the other reactor, right? These are two PFR in series, right? So we will be finding the same like we did earlier, FA0, FA1 at, this is I is equals to 1, right? So what is FA1, what is coming out of the first will be fed for the second reactor. If you look at this, I is equals to 2.FA2, right? So we know the design equation for PFR, right? We have done this in previous video lecture. So the two CSTR in series, like earlier we gave smaller total volume than a single CSTR, right? So this case is it's not the same here in PFR, right? So whether you use two plug flow reactors in series or have one plug flow reactor, it would be the same thing, right? So like plug flow, the design equation for plug flow is, it was 0 to x FA0 dx upon V. I'm sorry, dx upon minus RA, right? This was the equation. So you will be looking at different points, right? 1 and 2. Right? So we would be looking at the size of plug flow reactors in series. So this would be, it would be x2. We would be integrating this expression from x is equals to 0 to x is equals to 2, right? So what we will get is 0 to x1 FA0 dx upon RA1 plus, now x1, from here to here we will integrate x1 to x2 FA1 dx upon RA2, right? I'm sorry, this would be FA0, we'll be taking what is there initially, right? So it does not matter, looking at this, what we conclude is, it does not matter you take one big PFR or you take small PFRs, right?